Hey everybody, it's Karyn here with a quick demonstration video of how I created my Raffia-Style bow that I used on my layout today. I found that this technique works best with cardstock instead of designer paper. Today I'm using the dark green cardstock for my layout and my bow. So I am going to cut very thin strips, and the thinner they are, the easier they're going to be to work with. They're going to be more pliable and more manageable, and they're going to give us more of the raffia look that we want. But if they're too thin, it's going to be too easy to break. So I found that a good size is if we place the paper here, the cardstock, right before that second dashed cutting line on the gray trimmer mat. And then if you can see my left hand, I have it spread out and I'm applying quite a bit of pressure to it to make sure that the cardstock did not slip on me. When we're cutting thin strips, it's easy for the cardstock just to slip a little smidge, and then you get thinner than you want. So I got a really nice uniform thin strip. And I'm going to cut a second one there. We'll see what this one turns out. Again, spreading that left hand, applying a lot of pressure. And I also found that sometimes we have the tendency, we want to kind of, as we're cutting down, we want to lift up the left hand and slide it down with us. Well, when you let up on that pressure, that's when the paper slips. So just spread it out and put that even pressure on it all the way down. Now, even though, despite doing that, my strip did get a little narrow here at the bottom, that's okay. We'll use this second one as the tie. So now I like to take the strips and run them between my fingernails to help break down the fiber in that cardstock. And that's going to make it more pliable and manageable for us. Be careful you don't get a paper cut like I did when I was creating my initial layout, my initial bow. Okay, so this is the one that was the most uniform piece. I'm going to use this for my bow. I'm going to hold my two fingers like this, and I'm going to wrap it around to create loops. And then I'm going to kind of pinch it there in the middle and slide it off. And I'm still pinching it in the middle. I'm going to take the second piece and I'm going to tie it together. And I found it's easier to do if you place it here on your table to apply some pressure. And then you're going to be using your second hand to help you. And I know you can't see close because all you can see is like a jumble of fingers right now. But I'm just tying a simple knot. Now you want to get the knot tight, but not so tight that you break the paper. So get it kind of as tight as you can, and then pinch it or press down on it, and that's going to help secure the knot also. And then when you flip the bow over to the other side, you'll have a nicer flat side of the knot there showing. So I'm going to take my scissors, I'm going to cut off the little ends, going to notch them, make some ribbon ends there. And now I'm going to fluff up the loops. Just kind of pull them apart a little bit. And you'll be able to do this too after you get it on your layout. So you can kind of move the pieces around a little bit. Get the shape that you want. You know, these turn out differently every time you do them. That turns out pretty good. And now to secure them to your layout, I found that using a small foam square cut in half is the best option. So go ahead and just put that on the back of the knot. If it's cut in half, the knot will pretty much cover up that foam square and you won't see it. And then you can just secure it to your layout. I found that the tape runner just doesn't hold it down tight enough, and the precision point glue, the same thing. You don't have a nice even surface on the back there of the bow, and those made it really hard for those other adhesives to hold it down. So this little foam square cut in half does the job very nicely. So there's the one bow. Here's another one I made when I was practicing. Whoops. I just pulled out a loop. well, we'll put that one aside. This one turned out fairly good. Let me bring it up. There we go. I wasn't sure if I was in the camera for you. All right, everybody. I hope you guys give this a try. Like I said, it takes some practice. You'll want to use thin strips, but not so thin that it breaks on you. You want to pull them tight, but not so tight that it breaks also. So just give it a try, and it makes these pretty little dainty bows.